Andrew Lampett from Agile, and this webinar is Achieving Deep Interoperability amongst Salesforce, Zendesk, JIRA, Confluence, and more. So those are the main applications and tools we're going to focus on today. But again, this level of interoperability can be attained within any of your applications and tools that you have in your environment. So ready to get underway here. So quick first background about Agile. The company is founded back in 2006 with the mission of integrating tools, processes, teams, and knowledge, primarily focusing around ALM, that's Application Lifecycle Management and Software Engineering. So integrating software delivery environments was the main idea. The platform, the Wikidsmart platform, was created though in such a way that it can really accommodate integration of any application and tool in the enterprise. As you'll see, we'll be talking about CRM and help desk, for example, with Salesforce and Zendesk. There you can see a number of our partners, both on the technology and services side. I invite you to take a look at some of the nice press coverage we've received in InfoWorld and SD Times. Just Google that. And there's a look at some of the customers that we support today. For example, SIX is a very large financial institution in Switzerland. They run the currency exchange and the stock market for Switzerland. Healthcare organization in Toronto, University Healthcare Network, Market 6, a retail supply chain company in the Bay Area. So here's an agenda I'd like to propose for you today. First is the traditional approaches to integration and why they're a challenge in an environment, particularly like software delivery and CRM and help desk. Then I'll segue into what is Wikidsmart, both an overview of the platform as well as some specific solutions that we deliver on the platform. And then I'll hand it over to Sanjeev Nath for a demo, and then he'll hand it back to me for a wrap-up and next steps. So first off, these are the different approaches that you have for integration today. And they both have their strengths and their weaknesses. So I think in a lot of times when you're talking about integrating software engineering environments, a lot of times point-to-point or manual integration is considered an easy way to go in terms of it's perceived to be easy to get things done and to have some kind of simple integrations. Maybe just integrating your issue tracker with whatever it might be, version control or continuous integration, or even have some tasks in JIRA show up in your wiki. Some of that stuff can be done quickly, but as I'll describe in a moment, it's not so powerful, and it tends to have you get bogged down in details and not ultimately delivering what you need to achieve. Then you've got more enterprise integration approaches, things like ETL for data integration or data warehousing, EAI, which is really about enterprise application integration when you have high volumes of data moving back and forth, for example, in a supply chain scenario. EII, which is essentially data virtualization, where you have a federated layer of data or metadata layer that you call for ad hoc queries, and you go and find the information when you need it. And then there's search, which is really just keyword search, to find anything with this text string within different silos. So the difference of Wikidsmart, as you see down there in green, is a number of things. First of all, it provides very deep integration and interoperability, as you see with those checkboxes on the right. So you achieve traceability, faceted search of content, and also composite applications. And these other approaches simply do not let you go there. Now, the other idea is this is instantly integrated. So as you're going to see a little bit later, when you plug in an application or tool into Wikidsmart, that's all you need to do is install the connector, you're done. Things are integrated. So you don't have to go back and figure out the plumbing and the logic and spend some weeks or months to develop and maintain that plumbing. And so in summary, what we can say about this slide is the traditional approaches say it's possible to integrate. It's integratable. Here's a tool set, or here are some people. What do you want to integrate? And some weeks or months later, we can have that done for you. In contrast, Wikidsmart is rather, here's the platform, here are the connectors, plug them in, it's all integrated. All you need to do now is configure things like the templates as to what kind of workflows you want to have within your organization. So we'll show that a little bit more in obviously in the demo. You'll see this firsthand how it all works. So I already talked about the point-to-point challenges, so I won't go into more detail, but for a reference for you, you can kind of scan through these kinds of things. Now, Wikidsmart itself, I want to give you an overview of it, and it's two main things. The first of which is its integration platform. So you can achieve integration and interoperability of applications and tools within these areas, software engineering, CRM, and help desk, as well as other areas as well. The knowledge model that I'll talk about later just would need to be extended to accommodate other domains beyond this. The second thing is it is a template-based, model-driven composite application platform. So that's a lot of jargon and words in there. What I'm essentially saying is you can turn Confluence and JIRA into an application platform. And so we have templates that can be enabled within Confluence and driven by the JIRA workflow engine so that you can achieve these kinds of solutions that are described below. Requirements management for software engineering and test case management for software engineering, customer onboarding for services and support teams, case management, etc. So, how does this magic work? Well, I want to walk you through it in some pictures to kind of graphically show, where we're at today and how Wikidsmart delivers the magic. So you see this traditional look at silos. I've got a kind of abstracted view for you here on the left of some ideas. You've got your GUI of your different applications and tools, and then you've got where you store the data within each application and tool, whether it's a file structure or a repository, database repository of some sort. And then along with that, you've got down below different concepts, features, logic that application or tool is responsible for. So if you look at Salesforce on the end, it's got contacts and accounts and cases, for example. In JIRA, in the middle, you've got project and users, tasks, components, etc. Okay? So what we propose is this concept of a knowledge model. You can think of it as a knowledge graph. Nowadays people like to talk about the social graph. And a graph, of course, is how things are interconnected. So when you look at LinkedIn and you add someone to your contact, as a contact, you're expanding your social graph. And you can see if you meet another person down the road, oh, he's related to, I haven't met this person yet, but he's related to these 3 ex-colleagues and this friend from college. And so that's the graph of how things are interrelated, how people are interrelated. Likewise, Wikidsmart enables, you can think of it as an enterprise graph of how concepts are interrelated. And this knowledge graph, or this knowledge model, encapsulates these things: concepts and how they're related to one another. For example, software code has tasks related to it, it has requirements related to it, it has use cases related to it, and tests are run against it. People and their roles, so a developer creates code, a QA person creates tests. Functions and process. So encapsulate all these things. It's not simply a metadata layer, it encapsulate a lot more than that. I just walked through some examples, but to extend it a little bit further, for CRM, a prospect can become a contact, and accounts have contacts and opportunities associated with them. These are all the kinds of things, all the kinds of logic that are encapsulated within this knowledge model. Now, given that you have this knowledge model, it's pre-built for you. It's within Wikidsmart when you download it. Now, this knowledge model acts as kind of an intermediate layer between the GUI of an application and its data store. Okay, this is a conceptual diagram. This is not really a physical diagram of what's going on. It's just to conceptually show you that information now is becoming one unified environment. It's important to realize that what's going on here is the data stores down below, for Confluence and JIRA and Zendesk and Salesforce. Those are all still the source of truth for that specific application. The difference is we're able to add this intermediate layer, this knowledge model, that acts as an interchange of data and processes amongst the different applications and tools. So in some ways, you can think of, the applications becoming plugins to this environment. And there in the middle, you see how with the little orbs, how they're interrelating concepts amongst each other. So it's just, again, a graphical representation of how this, a logical graphical representation of how it all is gluing things together. So taking a look at this in another way, what's happening is there's a couple main concepts within Wikidsmart. I just described the knowledge model, which is within this Wikidsmart context server, which you see down below. Now I'd like to talk about connectors. So for this solution to work, we have a connector on each of the applications and tools involved. So if you look at Confluence on the left, with respect to requirements management, that connector is going to capture requirements, milestones, test plans for test case management, etc. For JIRA, second from the left, it's going to import things like project, component, release, tasks, issues. If you look on the far right, which is more of the core of this webinar, Zendesk, it's going to capture organization, tickets, owner, assignee. For Salesforce, just to the right to the left of that, it's going to import customer, account, case, contact, as well as custom fields. So very importantly, whether it's JIRA or Salesforce or Zendesk, we do accommodate whatever custom fields you have. So what's happening is we're importing the attributes via those connectors, those attributes that are contextually relevant. We don't necessarily import all the content from these applications or tools, just the content that's contextually relevant. We import that content, map it together with this knowledge model, and then we're able to serve back solutions that I described earlier, as well as dashboards and reports and faceted search and traceability. And that is all manifested within your existing applications and tools. So what that means is when you're in Zendesk, you are accessing information in Salesforce just like it was always already within Zendesk. Likewise, when you're in Salesforce, you're accessing information from Zendesk and JIRA and a wiki, just like it was always in Salesforce. So again, this is making a unified information environment for deep interoperability. And also you can attain features and processes of one tool within another one. So for example, if you want to see within Salesforce, I'm looking at my account and I want to create a task for this account for engineering or professional services to go achieve something. You can create that task right within Salesforce. Likewise, you can do that within Zendesk. So what are some benefits here? Again, number one, we're instantly integrating your applications and tools. There's not manual integration work that you're going to need to do firsthand or to maintain. Within the wiki, for example, you're guaranteeing information consistency. So you can capture information in consistent forms within the wiki and then convey that information to other applications and tools in a consistent way. You're going to be able to, number three, the bullet, attain insightful information very quickly and easily. So when you do a faceted search means I'm searching for a particular concept. I'm looking for this account and I want to see everything associated to this account. I want to see JIRA tasks and issues. I want to see tickets from Zendesk. I want to see everything, whether I'm in Salesforce or the wiki or JIRA. Traceability, once I find that task, I want to be able to trace it back to someone who created this item or someone who's associated to this item or another concept that's tangentially related to this item as well. And I want to see the lineage of, hey, I'm looking at this, maybe this feature, and I want to trace it back to different use cases. I want to trace it over to test cases, etc. And then also you can see reports and dashboards. Again, typically people like to manifest that within Wiki, but you can manifest those reports and dashboards within a portal or within whatever other application or tool you want. Finally, very importantly, this is all extensible and future-proof. So what I mean by that is it's built on open standards, okay? It's open source, so you can download it and use it for free. and you can create new applications as well. And I say it's open source. There are a number of reasons for engaging with Agile that I'll summarize at the end. But essentially, we keep you supported on the latest editions of applications and tools that you have. We can help you with best practices and to be successful more quickly, and to make sure that the platform is running up as you would require on a 24-hour basis. So what are some of the solutions that we have ready to go out of the box? Wikidsmart PM is for requirements management. I won't actually go through each one of these, but just in the interest of time, but just so you're aware that we have these different solutions all integrated within the environment, so you can be up and going on day one. Perhaps most relevant to this webinar would be Wikidsmart CRM, where you have JIRA and Confluence integrated with Salesforce and Zendesk, so you can achieve things like customer onboarding, customer case management, etc., and have information flow amongst all the tools and applications seamlessly. So also, I'm not going to kind of detail each one of these bullet items. I think also in the interest of time, I'd like to get it handed over to Sanjeev quite soon. But just so you're seeing here that, again, these connectors are easily integrating each of the applications and tools. There's RESTful integration, and you're able to achieve these kinds of things within each of the tools that you see here. So just real quickly, for example, with JIRA, you can create and update a JIRA issue from Salesforce or within Zendesk, for example. And with Zendesk, you can show all the content from Confluence, Salesforce, and JIRA. So again, the whole idea here is interoperability, that information is flowing amongst all the systems quite easily. So how about I hand it over to Sanjeev? Are you ready to go with the demo, Sanjeev? Do you want to take control here?
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Greetings, everyone. So, Andrew, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So let me first, I'll start with the demo part. And what I want to do basically is, in terms of demonstration, show you what Andrew's been talking about in terms of the ease and power of integration and interoperability that you can achieve with Wikidsmart across a set of tools. What we'll show you are 4 tools here, or 4 applications: Salesforce, Zendesk, JIRA, and Confluence. But also, as Andrew had pointed out, this level of integration is achievable across a wide range of applications. These are the 4 that we will show you, and however, we integrate many more. And custom connectors can also be developed to achieve the same impact. If you have any homegrown applications, or if you have applications that we do not currently support. So let's start first with Salesforce. The idea here being that in any particular delivery cycle, you always start with stakeholders, customers in particular, that are potentially potential constituents of the actual product delivery. So we have in App Exchange, as you can see here, Wikidsmart CRM for Salesforce package. So in terms of what it would take to integrate Salesforce with Wikidsmart environment and also with all the other tools that are part of the ecosystem, it's very simple. I'll just walk you through so that you can appreciate the ease with which you can accomplish this. So you go to App Exchange, look for Wikidsmart, for Confluence, JIRA, and Zendesk. And here you simply get it now. And what this will allow you to do at this point is it will allow you to install this particular package within your Salesforce instance. So if you want to use a test instance, for example, a sandbox or a real Salesforce instance, then you can, this will automatically install it in that instance. So rather than going through the process, we already have that installed in one of our instances here. So we'll just show you the next step. Once the package has been installed here, then all you really have to do is configure it and point to 3 different applications. So because Salesforce supports interoperability with JIRA and Confluence, then you simply need to provide the URLs of these three. So the first one is zcom server, which is our Wikidsmart context server. So you can provide the server and token information here, the JIRA and Confluence URLs, as well as any user that within JIRA and Confluence that you would use to authenticate as well as retrieve information related to projects, custom fields, issue types, and so on. So this is pretty much all you have to do, and you're ready to basically start integrating Salesforce with other applications. Now, what we'll do next is go to account page. So once the package is installed and configured, now you're ready to actually use the capabilities of Wikidsmart CRM, and it's fairly easy to do because for any particular Salesforce object where you want to leverage being able to create JIRA issues or Confluence pages, you simply need to add some fields to the layout of the page itself. So we'll start with the account page. So what I would do here is to just say, okay, let's edit the layout of this page. And we're going to add some buttons. So let's say that we want to be able to create, access the wiki page or create the wiki page. So we'll drag the button here. And then we'll also add some sections here. So let's add a section here, which is basically related JIRA issues. We'll make that one column. And then in there, we will do, we will drag JIRA issue creation and make sure that it is scroll level. So that's the first part. Now, the other thing we can also do here is we can add another section which will reflect any other contextual information related to this account that is captured from other applications, like, for example, Zendesk and Confluence and JIRA and so on. So we will add one more section here. And let's call it related cases and or related tickets. And then in this particular section, we will capture account view properties. Now, we call this account view properties page because it's fairly generic and customizable. So right now in the example, you will simply see it showing some Zendesk information, but related to this particular account or related to any account that you are accessing in Salesforce. But it can access or it can render any information that is linked to this account in Confluence, in JIRA, Zendesk, or other tools. For example, if in Confluence pages, you have some additional information pertaining to the account, like, for example, project lead or architect or technical leader or whatever, or other flags, for example, that you might capture, not in Salesforce, but outside of Salesforce, such as whether it's a partner account or eval account or whatever, then that information can also be rendered here. So, the idea here is that it's not just whatever is in Salesforce that's relevant for this account. It's what's happening in other systems that can also be reflected here to provide, the person accessing this account with full contextual information. So when we save this layout, it's all we need to do. As you can see, for example, that now what we have are a number of things. So first of all, in terms of related JIRA issues, all of the JIRA tasks that we had already created for this particular account will automatically show up. And so let's start here first. So this is, again, the ease of interoperability that you have achieved here just in a few minutes. So what we can do here, for example, is we can create a new JIRA issue for this account. So what I would do here is click on the button. Now, I don't have to go to JIRA anymore to do that. I can select the project. For example, let's select Wikidsmart. Let's say that we want to capture a to-do related to this account. So as part of customer onboarding, yeah, there may be a number of different steps that you go through. For example, you create an implementation plan, you create a training schedule, and you review the SLA with the customers, and so on and so forth. So what we'll do here is to just create a JIRA issue to say, let's say review SLA with the customer uh, account contact. Okay. And this is all we have to do. And this will automatically create a JIRA issue and link that issue to that account. So here it is, issue number 184. If you want to actually go and interact with it, you can access JIRA directly. And we've created this issue. It's a to-do, and it's something that allows us to then start tracking it, depending upon whomever is working on this or whomever is assigned to work on this. Now, there's a lot more you can leverage here, outside of just the demo of being able to create issues. Because this issue, first of all, JIRA provides email notifications. So if you're assigning it to someone, they can be automatically notified that there are certain to-dos for them to deal with. The second part of it is workflow. Because JIRA supports workflow, this can enter a certain workflow where a number of different people can interact with this particular item. So, maybe the next step for reviewing SLA is to first get it approved internally, and then second, provide it to the account manager, and so on and so forth. So so there's a number of different things that can be customized using workflow and notifications internally, in the context of customer onboarding or account onboarding, if you will. And those are all then become part of this process flow. And now, in terms of what we talk about integration and interoperability, it's not just being able to create JIRA issues directly, but you can also interact with them. So, for example, here I can just edit the issue directly from within Salesforce without having to go into JIRA. Again, it's one of the things that we provided because a lot of people, particularly in sales and marketing, don't really want to access JIRA. They just want to simply add comments and interact with the issue without having to leave Salesforce. So this really serves for them a huge amount of convenience. So now we have done this. The other thing we can talk about is, this is how you've seen the integration between Salesforce and JIRA. We can talk about what Confluence means in this picture. So if you click on the wiki page button for an account, if the page doesn't exist, it will automatically create a templated page for you, and it's very customizable. And if the page exists, then it will take you there. So since we've already created the page here within Confluence itself, you can see it now. And here you will see that there's certain information about the account from Salesforce that's automatically pulled in. We can add some additional information, like, for example, account notes and other sort of internal collaboration items related to this account could be captured here. But beyond that, it's also starting to act like a mini dashboard for the account. For example, if there are any pending action items, so if you remember, we had created a JIRA task from within Salesforce to review the SLA with the customer account contact. So that task is open and it's highlighted in red because there's no due date associated with it. It would be red either because of that or if the due date has already passed. So these become sort of your action items for internal teams to track information pertaining to the account. And then we'll also talk a little bit about how you can, capture information from Zendesk as we move over to Zendesk. But here, this is basically starting to feel like how information from multiple sources is coming together and being rendered within a single page, if you will, physically and literally, under a single page in a very contextual way or in a very integrated way. So this is the some of the capabilities of the Salesforce package, if you will. that you can see how easily we have now integrated it with Confluence and JIRA. Now let's talk also about Zendesk. So in a very similar way, we can look at Zendesk. Now we also provide connectors for Zendesk. And so what you'll see is a couple of different capabilities. So one, for example, is you can just add a simple extension to Zendesk where you can create a target. And basically here, all you're doing is you're providing a URL to Wikidsmart contact server and some authentication associated with that URL. And what this will allow you to do, this is a very simple form of integration where any tickets that you create within Zendesk will automatically be captured, whether you create them or update them or remove them. That action will automatically be captured within the context server. And then it will also be related to other entities within the system. So if there are tickets associated with an account, that will be captured. If there are tickets associated with a particular task and so on and so forth. So any of those type of links that can be inferred from what you're doing when you're creating a ticket or when you're updating a ticket are automatically captured. So here, this is the simplest one where it's a one-way integration where you're just providing that capability. Now, in addition to this, you can also, for example, um, install an app. So the same capability that you saw in Salesforce, where you're able to create JIRA issues from within Salesforce, and this is something that people find of a lot of convenience. You can also install the Zendesk app that we provide, the Wikidsmart app for Zendesk. And once you install this, and we have it here, for example, just to show you what you need to configure here. So what this app is allowing you to do is to just create Jira tickets from within Zendesk. And of course, level one help desk, for example, will take a lot of customer calls and stuff, or even customers themselves might input tickets within Zendesk. But these then are triaged, and internally they may be moved across engineering delivery cycles. So the idea of having some relation with Jira issues, for example, is that depending upon whether it's a request for a feature or a bug or something else that needs to be resolved in the product delivery cycles, then formally a ticket is created so that it can be tracked. But that ticket also has to have some link associated with Zendesk. So that's what this app provides. So now if we go back and look at some examples, so let's create, for instance, a ticket. So we can look at some tickets here, for example. There's a number of them that we've created here. And what the app will allow you to do, for example, is you can now create a JIRA issue just the same way as you saw within Salesforce itself. So what we can do, for example, is to say, okay, we're going to create a issue or a ticket for, a JIRA issue within Wikidsmart project, and then we will, associate a particular type, for example, like let's say a task, and then obviously you can add additional attributes here, summary, description, and so on related to that issue. You can also associate it with particular releases. So if you are creating it here and you know what release you want to target it for, then all of that information can be captured. Let's see. So at this point now, this issue is created. We can also create additional issues and capture them here. But now when you come back to, for example, Salesforce, so this is where the full cycle starts to happen in terms of integration. If you refresh your Salesforce account page, for example, then you'll see a lot of the related issues. Um, You can see here, for example, not only are the JIRA tasks associated with that particular account, but you can also see all the related Zendesk tickets. and any bugs that are related to those tickets. So for example, in this case, we've got 3 different Zendesk tickets that are tied to that account. So we can click on it and go directly to Zendesk and look at the ticket itself. We can, add comments and whatever resolution that we want associated with it. So if I'm actually managing the account, or if I'm looking at that account level information within Salesforce, then I can easily go and see what's happening with the ticket, what type of comments people are adding or who's working on it and so on. Now, here's an example where, the case, if you are not using Zendesk, but you're capturing case information within Salesforce for, in the context of help desk, then you can also capture that here. So this is only to give you an idea that it doesn't matter where information is coming from related to customer cases. It can all be pulled into a single view, if you would. So, and the same thing, if you, for example, went to the wiki page at this point, you will see, for example, not only all the to-do items related to the account, the reported tickets, but any of the cases that are reported for that account. So again, to just repeat what Andrew had talked about earlier, I mean, this is really your fully integrated contextual view that you're bringing in from multiple sources here. So here you are seeing a whole bunch of things at the same time. You're seeing stuff related to Zendesk. You're seeing stuff related to Salesforce. And you're also seeing all the information that's coming from JIRA. And not only that, actually, more than that, what you can also do, for example, is you can interact with this from, within JIRA, for instance, or with this account right here. So for example, I don't have to go to Salesforce to create another to-do related to this account. I can just do it from here. And, so let's say that there's a next step item beyond the SLA review, which we had talked about earlier as a to-do. So in this particular case, we're gonna say let's create an implementation plan, and let's put some date here and so on and so forth. Put some releases are not important, so I'll just add a little bit of description. And you can see that as we are creating this particular issue, it's a to-do, it's automatically linked back to that account. So again, the idea of integration is that not only can Salesforce and Zendesk see the JIRA issues that they're linked to or the wiki pages, but even JIRA itself has access to all of the accounts that are in the system. And so it will automatically link to whatever account the issue was created for. And it can link to case and, of course, Zendesk tickets if it were relevant. In this particular case, we're just creating a to-do for the account. And you can see it. It's Wickets 186, create an implementation plan. It's linked to that account. So if I want to go see that account, for example, I can automatically go there and you'll see it here. And in this particular account, for example, the issue that we just created, 186, should show up automatically. So it shows up right here. And not only that, if I were to go to the wiki page, it should also show up right there, and which is right there, this one right here. And since it's December 29th, it's not marked as red yet because there's still time to achieve this. So this is basically what we consider to be full cycle integration, that that, as I've shown you, the ease at which you are able to create by just installing the connectors and configuring the URLs. So I think on that note, actually, there's one more thing that I can show you in terms of the value of this level of integration. So it's not just at the page level, or at, whether it's the account page or whether it's Confluence page where it becomes relevant, but you can also now start to search for all of this information together. So for example, we have, this search is available in Confluence and JIRA. And even though you're in Confluence itself, you can search for accounts and tickets very easily. So for example, I can go and say, okay, I'm looking for accounts. So if you just say accounts, this will show you all the accounts that are pulled in from Salesforce. And not only do you get information related to the accounts, but you can also get information, that is all the contextual information, if you will. So this account's Agile test, for example, has some associated JIRA tickets, and you can click on the ticket to find out more about it, like who the reporter is, and what project it's associated with, and so on and so forth. And you can continue to drill down to get more and more information. So this level of traversal is what gives you the power in terms of this particular integration. Now, if you want to look for tickets, for instance, you can say, okay, well, let's look at all the tickets that we have. So these are all the Zendesk tickets. So here we have a reporter who's the owner. So if we click on this, it will give us information about the account and what are all the tickets associated with this account. You can look at any other ticket, for example, who reported it and what's the status and who's assigned to it, and then go to JWorthus, for instance, and now you can see what are all the activities associated with JWorthus and so on and so forth. So the idea being that not only are you able to search for a specific account and ticket related information that's coming from Salesforce and then Zendesk, but you can find almost everything that is captured about those particular entities. So I think on that note, Andrew, I will turn it back to you.
Great. Thanks, Sanjeev. So on that last note, I want to point out to everyone, essentially, I was talking earlier about this knowledge model being a graph database of interconnected items. So that last thing that Sanjeev was showing was search. He was showing the search results, and then he was traversing the network or the graph of the different concepts. So that's where traceability and lineage comes in. So you can trace things, um, or you can trace concepts all across the network. So I'd like to wrap up here. So in summary, what you've seen is the Wikidsmart is the only platform that can contextually integrate content from both software engineering tools as well as CRM and help desks, particularly Zendesk and Salesforce in this instance. We guarantee traceability, interoperability, and a federated or a faceted search of the content across your environment. And it's perfect for cross-functional teams. So for example, professional services teams or support teams who need to have access into different silos, whether it's help desk or JIRA or CRM, and they might not need or require a full license, but they want to have the ability to work seamlessly with the other teams. This is the perfect solution to have that cohesion of information flow across everyone. So, so how can Agile help? I mentioned earlier that this is open source, so you can download it, install Wikidsmart Context Server, and then install your different plugins. So that's ready to go. You can use it as you wish. The reason why you'd like probably to engage with Agile has to do with supporting your latest environment. So when you look at the evaluation, we specify which versions of JIRA and Confluence that you need to use. Of course, in production, we will support whatever Confluence and JIRA versions and Zendesk and Salesforce, whatever you have. So we'll keep up to date with what instances you have. We can also get you fast-tracked. So we can help with massaging or creating new templates according to your processes and requirements. We can help you with best practices as far as what's the best way to use the whole platform. We can give you a jump start of several days, whether it's a proof of concept or jump start. It's just to satisfy everything you want to see, just to have proof that it's going to work the way you want within your environment. So and then finally, new connectors. We can, if you want to have a content management system integrated, or a different software engineering tool, or a different HR system or accounting system or finance, all those kinds of things can be extended quite easily. We can help you achieve that. So that wraps up the webinar today. Thank you everyone for your time. Again, this is the platform to integrate any application and tool and to have complete cohesion of all the information within your environment. So thanks. We're going to sign off and look forward to hearing from you. Bye-bye.